This is H.D. Ingalls. I recently put a blog on my website, hdingles.com. Then I decided to make a podcast out of it. My reasoning was extremely scientific. That is to say, what the heck, why not? Anyway, here goes. Explicit Orders. I have already told you one humorous story that my father told me about World War I. That story was called Middleweight Fighter. Let me tell you another story. Oh yes, before I forget, during the war, soldiers were nicknamed Doughboys. Now, before I begin, let me say that this story was excellent advice to a young fellow who had only been in the Air Force for a year or so. It's like this. Orders must be explicit in the sense that there is no ambiguity. Has to be to avoid confusion. But the thing is that an order can be a bit too explicit. This advice from Dad helped me out a few times when I was a GI. And please understand that Dad was not giving me advice. He was telling me a story. I had to be smart enough to understand the advice. Daddy never preached. I think that the buildup of the story is longer than the story. Anyway, here it is. Dad told me that there was an establishment in the town where he was stationed which was off limits. The place was a bar, but I had a feeling that it was off limits because it was also a whorehouse. Sorry. Dad said, some lieutenant stationed me at the front door of this joint and gave me an explicit order. Do not allow any soldier through this door. Dad took a sip of beer and a drag from his cigarette and continued, a doughboy came to the front door and tried to get in. I said, what'd you do, Dad? Son, I told him that I couldn't allow a soldier through the front door. Then I told him that there was no guard at the back door. I don't know what you think, but I think that is funny. The lieutenant was overly explicit. Well, that's the end of my little story, and I thank you for listening.